Okay.
Is that what you came out here to do? Well,
so this movie came out in 2008. I barely remember.
Living in the house and wants us to leave.
Wow. I know it's based off a book series which I never read.
You can read. I'm telling you, something is in that house with us, and Arthur Spiderwick knew about it, and that's
it's a pretty decent, you know, so far, Nickelodeon film, which I didn't even, I forgot it was a Nickelodeon production.
A brownie turns into a Bolger when he's angry.
It's
and
fine.
He got angry when Mallory destroyed his nest.
So far.
He likes honey. That's what.
Hello, folks, and we're back with another review and thoughts on, this time, checking out, well, rewatching the Spiderwick Chronicles, which is a 2008 film based off a series of books, which I never read, so I don't know how faithful or accurate this movie is to them. I believe it does adapt pretty much all the books. Yeah, when this came out back in 2008, I wasn't really a big fan of it. I wasn't, I don't even know what came out during 2000. I can't even remember now what came out around that time. I want to say Chronicles of Narnia maybe came out. I don't know. Or maybe a year later. But yeah, I never read the books, so I don't know how accurate, again, this is to the books. But it's directed by Mark Waters. I don't know what he's done after this or before this. It stars Freddie Highmore, if anybody is familiar with, you know, Bates Motel. He plays Norman, which I thought he was really good in this, being, like, it's a Nickelodeon production film, which I forgot all about. I forgot this was a Nickelodeon production, Paramount, but yeah, it has him in it, and it has Sarah, I don't know how to say this girl's name. She played in the movie I reviewed called Emily, which is spelled weird, but it was, I thought she did really well in this. Why would you scream?
No, I won't hurt you. Here, have some more honey.
I really shouldn't. I'm with you, insist. Oh, my.
Where are you? Why can't I see you?
You don't see us, now you do. But only if we want you to.
See, I remember the trailer.
You mean all the magical creatures Arthur Spiderwick
I remember that
wrote
scene
about.
from the trailer.
Good luck! Oh my God.
I'm trying to think who he voiced in this movie. If I'm correct, it might have been the one cowardly. Yeah, it's it's the one hobgoblin, the one that chases birds. Which I actually enjoyed his character, though he wasn't. I don't want to say he was pointless or useless, but he does save the day at the end. But I thought his character was pretty funny, pretty comical with the humor. It's basically, it follows 3 children who discover a field guide to fairies while encountering a lot of different magical creatures such as goblins, ogres, brownies, bogarts, hobgoblins, trolls, and many others. I don't know how. I guess it got good reviews. It says right here on Wikipedia. And the budget was $90 million. And the effects, for what they are from that during, 2008. I didn't mind them. Even now, watching it, I didn't mind them. I liked how the goblins looked, alright. Or hobgoblins. Even the main baddie in this, I forget his name, Mogarth. It doesn't even say who played or voiced him. Because, they're all mainly CGI, but, which is fine. I would have liked if it was some practical, but, it made $164.2 million, so I guess that was... So, it deals with these siblings. One of them unleashes pretty much, or awakens these mystical creatures from this book, and then because pretty much these creatures, this evil ogre is after this book that contains secrets of the fairy world or something. I wasn't sure why he wanted exactly why he wanted the book. I mean, the secrets to his world, but I didn't understand how would he become powerful over learning secrets of like that was what I wasn't understanding exactly. They do explain it, but again, I kept like I guess he'll gain knowledge and then like um pretty much this shape-shifting ogre, which I thought that's a pretty interesting I never heard of shape-shifting ogres. Like I always thought they were just these giant monster looking entities, but no, this one I don't even know how to say his name. Muglar. He plans to use the book's secrets for evil. And pretty much 80 years later, recently divorced Helen Grace inherits and moves into the abandoned Spiderwick Estate with her children, Dollar Mallory, and twin sons Jared and Simon. Now, Freddie Highmore plays both of the brothers, which I was like, because I wasn't sure. It kept bothering me early on. I'm like, okay, does he have a twin? But no, it's actually him. They're doing a camera, camera thing where it's him playing both roles. And I'm like, wow. And I'm like, maybe I just never heard of his other brother, but no, it's actually him. But pretty much, we get some family stuff where, they're going through a hard time with the dad. Jarrett character doesn't know that the dad has another family, so he thinks, whatever. The mom doesn't want to tell him, which is why they're moving, and they moved to this place because they want to start new and fresh. I don't know, like, at first they weren't, like, the kids, like Jared and Simon and his sister Mallory, they weren't really as likable to me early on. I mean, it wasn't where I was, like, annoyed or, like, shut up or anything like that with them, but it was just, like, they weren't really as likable or interesting, And then later on, I sort of started to somewhat appreciate them. I will say, like, the author, the guy in this movie, I guess, made the book. Well, how they explain, like, he gets taken, because, like, he disappears many years ago, and, like, his daughter got committed to a hospital or whatever because they think she's crazy. And it turns out, like, she's like 80 or 83 years old or something, or in her 80s anyway, and who is like their great aunt. And then when they go to see him, they actually, like, they get to go see I think he must be their grandfather or whatever, great grandfather. I was like thinking the whole time during his scene, that's a pretty dark scene or not dark, but it's kind of like you think about it, where he trying, like, back in the day when he was like all paranoid and stuff about the book, trying to keep the book safe. He pretty much fighting, goblins off, and then pretty much these little flower fairy things that sing or whatever, they end up taking him away, like, to this other dimension or whatever, or to, like, their world. I thought it was pretty dark because he's there the whole, like, 83 years later, like, because it goes 80, because the movie starts around 80 years later. But he's been away in this other dimension all those years, while his daughter's aged. He hasn't aged, but when he comes back to the regular, our world, he'll end up aging really fast. He's like 120 something years old or something. the dialogue they say. So like, I thought it was dark because he's been in this dimension, and like he doesn't even realize that he's in another world because he says a line of dialogue of, my daughter's still like 8 or something years old, and because he's under the impression that he's, I guess, still there in the human world, but not. I didn't understand that part, but it's hard to explain if you gotta watch the movie. But I thought that was pretty dark, and even at the end it's sad but it's sort of sad, but then not really, because he ends up, after they win and everything, beat the evil ogre boss. They end up the aunt, great aunt, ends up going with her dad, and then they go back to the fairy world or whatever, I guess, to live forever. Which I'm like, I mean, that's nice and all, but then I'm like, that's kind of boring at the end of the day. It's kind of, I mean, it looked like the scene, like the shots and, you know, locations are really nice, and the acting's really well done in this movie. The CGI again is good. I did like, again, Seth Rogen's character, the cowardly ogre or hobgoblin, whatever you want to call him, who likes to chase birds all the time, and he's the one that kills pretty much the essentially the evil big bad of the movie and the books, I assume. He ends up eating him, and then the movie ends, and yeah. But overall, like, again, I thought it was a decent watch. I did. Is it one of the best, movies I've seen? Not really, but I didn't mind it. Like, again, I liked some of the action scenes where the Mallory's fighting the goblins. You have to use like this this round little silver metal thing. I don't know what they're called, but she uses like one of those to see the goblins, and then Seth Rogen's character spits slobber in their faces, and then they're able to see him without the special glasses or whatever. The family drama stuff was somewhat handled fine. It wasn't really overbearing or anything like that. The mom I didn't really care for, like she was just there. Like the actress, I thought was dang, but yeah, her character was fine. Like she really wasn't even in the movie a whole lot. Like she was in at the beginning, like trying to get them settled in, and then she's at work at one scene we see. Then she, comes home, and then they, eventually when she sees the creatures, then she's all, oh, and then they have to defend their home and all that. And I thought it was funny how these goblins are like infiltrating their home, and they're like breaking stuff and destroying stuff. But yeah, overall, the movie's fine. It's a good watch. I would say it's not scary for kids to watch. So I would say it because it's PG. But I will say it's a decent action scenes, well edited. Again, I don't know how faithful this is to the books, so it makes me want to read them. I'll give you that. I'll tell you, be honest with you. I do kind of, but then I don't know how you would do a sequel to this if there was because I believe there's new Chronicle books out now called Beyond the Spiderwick or something. I believe those are either spinoffs or new books. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this. I thought it was a decent watch. Pretty good movie. If anybody would like to request, content such as movie reviews, commentaries, reaction videos, want me to react to anything, links to my PayPal, or you can join my Patreon. or just to donate to the channel if you want to, or if you don't want to, that's fine. But yeah, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts on either the movie or the books, if this is accurate to the books, or if you prefer the books over the movie. There's also a video game of this, which I was surprised of. I don't know if I'll play that. If it's even online, if I can get an emulator. If it's for PS2, then I might actually try to play that. But yeah, thanks for watching, and take care. Peace and love.